Thanks, Brandon!
Oh, goodness.
Yep, I've forgotten what my real face looks like.
No scars, though.
He does.
I was bleeding. What's just like you makes me an anomaly, an aberration. Watch the switch. You're too young to be on steroids, but...
Great if it flips away from me. What the hell? How do I do this every other time?
Yeah.
Why am I struggle busing so bad? I'm fucking screaming. I'm so sorry.
You're good.
I'm glad I'm not the only one.
Yeah, I'm struggling too.
It can't hit my tit.
I tried to put it on my other gimmick and it didn't work, so I'll put it on the small move.
There we go. That's better. That looks ridiculous, but it. Oh, that's smart. They're pretty good mics, TBH.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Hell yeah. Where'd you get them?
The Amazon.
The Amazons.
The Amazons. I didn't even buy them. He bought them. So.
Good on you, Brian.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna start with the basics. You are
The Process, MM3, Malcolm Monroe the third.
the third.
I am.
Because you are a.
I'm a third generation wrestler. That's the
Yes,
thing.
which is fucking dope. That's
Thank you.
so cool.
Thank you.
Okay. So we are at Flophouse.
We are Flophouse. Usually we're in Flophouse, Indiana for Flophouse, but for SummerSlam weekend, they're in the Mitten.
And I'm so happy because I've always wanted to come to a show, and now I have that off my little tiny bucket list.
We brought the show to you. How's that?
Yeah, I can deal with that. So you wrestle all over, right?
Yeah.
I know you're gonna say Michigan, but what's your favorite place to wrestle?
Oh, my favorite place to wrestle. It changes all the time, but I would have to say right now, my absolute favorite place to wrestle is in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Why?
It's
a long way.
Yeah, the TWE Arena, ICW No Holds Barred. They do shows there, and that crowd, they're just super into us and everything that we do. And I've never felt so appreciated as a wrestler every time I go down there. I've gotten such a warm welcome that it feels like a second home game. Whenever I'm in Tennessee, as soon as the first couple of notes of my music hit, the crowd's already going crazy because they know I'm coming. So that's probably my favorite place.
That's a good feeling, I suppose, right?
Yeah.
Support your fucking wrestlers.
Yeah.
Don't make me come through. So, is it a lot different down there? I mean, I know wrestling is wrestling, but I feel like even in Indiana and Michigan, there's a difference in the atmosphere and the type of fans that you get and the type of wrestlers that are welcome.
Yeah. Notice we're in Michigan, so there's whooping happening because juggalos, but yeah.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yes.
Oh my God, I'm crying right now.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. I should just wear a shame cone. I know nothing. I don't even know how I got to this age.
It's not, I wouldn't say it's too different. I think that every place has its certain nuances or subtle differences, and it makes that place unique to wrestling in that place. I feel like every town or territory has its certain fan base, and the fans act a certain way, and they have a certain swagger to them. We're oh, that's definitely a New Jersey fan, or oh, that's definitely a Michigan fan, kind of one of those type of vibes. So it's a little different, but being in the ring all feels the same to me.
I mean, that makes sense. So if you weren't a wrestler, what would you want to be? And I know that's a loaded question because was there any way you weren't going to be a wrestler?
Well, my dad didn't think I was going to be a wrestler. I actually got trained behind his back to prove him wrong. When I was 11, I went to the House of Truth wrestling school, and I told Truth Martini, who's my godfather, I told him I wanted to wrestle, and he said, okay, does your dad know? I said, no. He said, okay, well, we'll figure it out. And then we figured it out. I trained to be a wrestler. My dad found out that I was training, or actually trained by that time, to be a wrestler. And yeah, the rest is history.
That's so young.
Yeah. But if I wasn't wrestling, I have a degree in culinary arts, so I'd probably be a chef full time.
Do you like to do that?
No, I love to cook, but I don't like working in restaurants. It's, as morbid as it sounds, when I was young, my favorite wrestler was paralyzed from the neck down.
Oh.
And my mom said, "What if that happens to you?
Oh.
You need a backup plan." And I said, "I can cook with no legs." And
I mean,
so
you can.
yeah. So that's we're here now.
Well, what would you want to do?
That's what I want to do.
You would? Okay. All right.
I like cooking. It's cool.
Cooking is cool.
Yeah, I could be like
Open
creative.
a restaurant.
Yeah.
All your wrestling fans would come.
Yeah, they probably would. I
They
feel like
would.
a lot of old wrestlers, when they retire, they like open like restaurants and stuff. I think I'm gonna do that.
So your reception in Tennessee is bigger than it was here?
I don't.
'Cause that was I mean, every time I see you, it's always, but tonight it was a spectacular welcoming of Detroit's favorite son.
I don't know if it's so much bigger in Tennessee. It's in the more confined space because it's not outside. But today, I feel like the whole block knew that I was here.
I feel like the entire city knew that you were here.
I've been telling everybody this weekend it's a parade inside my city.
It was that indeed.
Yeah.
So do you have any big plans that you can share with me?
Well, tomorrow for ICW No Holds Barred in XICW, I'm wrestling the Bulldozer Matt Tremont for the first time ever in a death match. So that should be.
That's going to be frightening.
It'll be a good time. I'm excited. He's literally the most decorated American deathmatch fighter ever. So.
See. Do you like death matches more than regular matches? Because I know you do both.
I like to wrestle.
You don't prefer one over the other?
No, like it's definitely a different vibe. When I'm entering a death match, it's a completely different headspace. It's a completely different fan base, honestly.
It is.
And I feel like I get a different type of fulfillment from both. So I can't say that one's like better than the other. Because if that was the case, I would just do that one, you know?
Okay, that would be like liking one kid more than the other.
Yeah,
like it
you know?
for whatever quality.
For different reasons and things.
That makes sense. But if you had to choose,
yeah,
you can always find bookings.
I mean, that's true, and you're very good at both. And it is a different, like you present different in each atmosphere.
Yeah, so years ago when the process was first born. The idea behind the process, or what the process is, or how I became that process, is because there was a point where I didn't want to be a wrestler anymore. I just didn't feel like I was having fun. I wasn't having a good time. And then I didn't feel like I wasn't having a good time because I was like going about it wrong. I knew that I could be the most well-rounded wrestler to ever walk the planet, and that's what I set out to do. I went to Mexico and I wrestled lucha. I've done the deathmatch thing. I do the technical wrestling thing. I do the strong style.
Yeah.
I've been on this mission to prove that pro wrestling needed a change, not just someone that can do one thing, somebody or something that can do everything. And all change starts with the process. But what if I'm that process? And I am.
You are that process, because you really do. It's all of that, and it's beautifully melded.
Thank you.
It's very nicely done. You're like my favorite, have been my favorite from my very first show, actually.
Oh, thank you.
At that, I don't even know,
Masonic Temple?
Masonic Temple, yes. On Michigan in Grand Rapids.
Oh, wow, yeah.
You jumped off.
I jumped off the balcony.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you made me fall in love with wrestling.
That's
was my
awesome.
first experience with wrestling ever in my whole life.
Wow.
So
that's why I do this.
Yeah.
Creating memories. That's why I do this. I love that. Oh, that's so cool.
That's why I fangirl all the time.
That's so
that
cool.
You're awesome.
Thank
but
you.
also, you were my first wrestler I was ever like, Did that just happen in real life?
It was so crazy that whole day how it was constructed. I got to the building, and the person who runs the show was talking to the person who's like in charge of the building, and the guy in charge goes, "You don't think anybody would jump off of that balcony, right?" And then the promoter goes, "No, I don't," and then locks eyes with me. He goes, "If anybody, it'll be him." And I took that as a challenge. So I was just like, you know what? If I can get up there, I'm jumping. So
Great. That is wonderful.
Yeah.
And you did. And oh my God, I was like, is he dead? Did he die? Did I just witness a death?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. I'm here.
You are.
This is not the ghost of MM3. This is the real thing.
Yeah, we don't talk to ghosts on this channel. That's the other one. I don't really have another one.
I'm saying that you got like I was saying, if you got like a paranormal like podcast thing, I'm on that too. I'm in there.
That would be dope.
We'll work on that.
Yeah. We have, I mean, aliens exist, so I should oughta, right?
We'll workshop it.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else here? Okay, I just can't ever ignore him. I can't ignore anyone, but I can for you. So. Oh, the sounds of Detroit. I love it.
Yeah.
It was so hot tonight.
That's how I know I'm home.
Is that how you know you're home?
That's how I know I'm home.
So we're downtown. Is this downtown Detroit?
We're in downtown Detroit.
Okay. But it's pretty and it looks very nice and safe.
Downtown Detroit. Downtown Detroit is probably the most invested in part of the city. Oh. It's not by any means the like bad part of the city. Bad things happen down here for sure all the time, yeah. But it's definitely like put together. Gentrified. It is. Yes.
Gentrified.
Yes. This and then there's a place right outside of downtown Detroit called Midtown.
Okay.
Where Wayne State is. We're like right on the border of there.
Sean was saying something about that.
That's also a gentrified neighborhood.
Well. Okay, that would feel why I feel comfortable here then.
Yeah.
Oh good. Sorry, I'm all right. I'm sorry. So you've done an intergender match?
Yes, quite a few actually. I believe in equal rights, equal fights. You know what I'm saying?
I like equal rights, equal fights.
So, any competitor, any professional wrestler, I will wrestle. If you're a professional wrestler.
I like that. I like it's equal rights for equal fights. I like that a lot. Because it's good. I like to see intergender matches because if a wrestler has skill, a wrestler has skill no matter what their gender is.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
So I appreciate that. Do you think women are getting more popular or more accepted maybe? I don't know.
I feel like the way that the business and just the way that the world has changed and how people like us are becoming less ignorant and we are actually understanding and accepting that women and thems can do anything that people who identify as men can do. So I've always been a firm believer in that. That's how I was raised. And I'm glad to see that wrestling's taking that turn now because it's a business that I grew up in and I'm glad that the business is growing up now too. So
I agree. It's nice to see. I was a little like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to like this environment because I'm kind of like Libby or whatever, but woke is an ugly word. I'm not going to use that word.
Yeah.
But it's nice to see that it's becoming, and you probably see more acceptance or lack of than I do on the outside.
Yeah, because I'm like queer and black.
Yes. I mean, are there places that you're just like, yeah, no, and you don't have to name them, obviously. But
honestly,
does that exist still?
Honestly, I would assume it does. I've been fortunate enough to. I've encountered, like, obviously, there's bigots everywhere.
Obviously,
regardless.
yes. Micro.
Yeah. Flophouse is a company that always prides itself on being inclusive and everybody being treated with respect.
That seems very much like that.
And that's the vibe that this place puts out, and that's why I love this place so much. Some places that I've wrestled at, it's not on the forefront of their mind, but when incidents occur, like for instance, I wrestled for Circle 6 in Chicago a few weeks ago, and there was a fan in the front row. I wore my pansexual pride pin on my leather jacket, and he was just making like derogatory remarks about it, and I was just ignoring him because I was in the middle of wrestling, and then this small human who was like much smaller than me and much smaller than the man, like marched over and pitbulled this guy and was like, "You bigot, if you don't shut your fucking mouth, I'm gonna punch you in it." And and then shortly after that, Circle 6's security staff escorted that gentleman out of the building because they said that there's no place in their space for that stuff. And I felt really taken care of, and all of the staff and everybody involved made sure that I felt comfortable. Which he didn't bother me none, because like I don't give a shit what people say, but it was cool that they were on it and they didn't want anybody else to feel uncomfortable.
See, that's a nice inclusive. I feel like that's a good word for that. But yeah, that's nice. That's nice that happens.
Yeah.
Because the world is scary and people are ugly and awful, and I feel like whatever it's about, like, you guys should be protected, I guess. Like, you're performers at the end of the day. Like, you're athletes and you do fantastic things, but you're a performer, and people need to recognize that you're also still a human being and you should be treated as such.
Absolutely.
Because, well, those are the same people who are assholes to retail workers, though. Like, let's be real, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I'm gonna fucking be angry at you because it took 10 minutes in line. Because
well, patience is certainly lacking these days, so that's the thing.
That's not my name, but I have a lot of it, so maybe it should have been. Oh goodness, sorry. So, any parting words? Because as much as I love talking to you, and I do, I'm exhausted.
I understand. I'm absolutely exhausted, and I have to.
You look very tired, and you have to wrestle tomorrow.
I have to wrestle tomorrow. Yes.
It's been this was a hell of a good party that they threw.
Yeah, it was a good party. Flophouse is always a good party. That's what we do. But if you want to see anything that is MM3 or the Pillars, myself and Tommy Vendetta, you can find us on social media at the Process MM3 on everything for me, the Lovable Psychopath Tommy Vendetta, and then our Papa Darren McCarty. Everybody knows.
I'm gonna link everybody. I love Darren McCarty.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm gonna link you all
Perfect
down in the description.
Thank
for
you.
the 2 people that are gonna watch it. They'll be able to get your guys' socials.
If you guys aren't following me, I'm gonna have 2 more followers after this.
Alrighty, thank you. Oh.